welcome back to this week's video. If you've never been here before, I am Megan J, and I make random YouTube videos about whatever I feel like, and I typically post them on Wednesday. Today, we're gonna take it back, like way back, to my childhood. If you don't know, I was born in the 90s. Yeah, I'm old, I'm aware. So we're gonna be trying snacks that I used to have when I was a kid, and none of these I've had since I was a child, so we're gonna see if they're still as delicious as I remember them. I mean, I'm sure some of the recipes have changed since the 90s, but these are all things that I used to have as a kid. I mean, they're not things I had often because my mom wouldn't buy them because they weren't the healthy options, but I did like them when she did buy them, which was almost never. Or if I saved up my own money and then I bought them. Anyways, we have a wide selection of childhood snacks, and we're gonna take it back to the 90s. The one I am most excited for, and I don't think I've had it since I was like 10 or 11, I vividly remember the commercials that played through my entire childhood, and that is Baby Bottle Pop, Baby Bottle Pop. And if you've never had one of these before, suck the top part and you dip it in the powder in the bottom, and I got my favorite flavor as a child, which was watermelon, and I'm super stoked to eat this diabetes. Smells like artificial childhood, just like I remember. Oh, that's just straight diabetes. Okay. And then you take it and you go, and then you got it covered in powder. It's still good. It's just like straight sugar. It's just as good as I remember it as a child. That's bringing back some pretty good memories, actually. Used to take these to school, and you were like really cool if you had one of these on snack break. Childhood. That one's still a favorite. Even though it's sour and just straight sugar and diabetes, it's delicious. Up next, we got some Nerds. We used to get these with hot lunch sometimes. They were like a dessert that came with it. I don't know, but my school had that sometimes. And then, oh yeah, I remember! The two sides. Oh my god, it's been such a long time since I've had these. What do you do? How do you open it? Open. There we go. I just savagely ripped that one because I'm that excited for it. I forgot that they separated the two colors. So you got your purple and then you got your pink. And you pour them out. They come out like as they're little rocks. I don't remember quite having that kind of plasticky taste to them. They're still good. They still hit home in the childhood. But they're not quite as good as I remember. They kind of have like a mild plasticky outside taste to them. And not such a great aftertaste. Next up from my childhood, I didn't want to buy the name brand because that's not the one I usually ate growing up. The one I ate growing up was the no-name cheese and crackers. This is one that I had pretty often. I do recall the cheese not being very good as a child, and I haven't had it since then, so I'm gonna go with it's probably still not very good. If you don't live in Canada, then you won't know what No Name is. No Name is owned by one of the biggest grocery stores up here, and they actually make some pretty decent stuff, so you don't knock it until you try it. All right. Okay, a child is supposed to be able to open this. Where's the, there. do remember it when I was a kid though. It used to come with like a little plastic stick that was in with the 4 crackers. And it was so you could spread the cheese on the crackers. They don't have that anymore. Oh yeah, that smells like Cheese Whiz. All right, I guess we'll dip it. This is the one I'm not really excited for. I remember as a kid I used to eat the crackers a lot and then just leave the cheese. And for good reason, it's just not very good. Oh. Yeah, that cheese, that takes me back. That still tastes exactly as it did as I was a child. Like plastic with a cheesy flavor. The crackers are really good though. Just as good as when I was a kid. But do without the cheese. I feel like I need a little bit of a palate cleanser now, so I'm gonna go for the Kool-aid Jammers. These came out when I was like 4 or 5. And I was in kindergarten, and if you had one of these in your lunchbox, you were so cool. I very rarely had one in my lunchbox, but that's because my mom made healthier choices than stimulated flavor. Oh, there's an open spot over here. Got it. Still comes in the same little pouch. Used to get Capri Sun like this too. I don't know if they still make Sunny D. I should have looked for Sunny D. I used to have that sometimes too. Do they still make Sunny D? I bet they still make Sunny D. All right. The worst part about these, I remember, is if you didn't stab it properly and it exploded all over your desk, or if you stabbed it too aggressively, it would also explode all over your desk. Am I just challenged today, or what is happening? These things are designed for children. There we go. Stab it in. We went for the tropical punch. The straw has been inserted. This is not a pouch that you squeeze. That is a lesson you learned as a child, and you usually learned it after the first or second time you squeezed it. I mean, it tastes like Kool-Aid in all its synthetic glory. It definitely tastes very artificial. It's not terrible, but it's also not good. Oh man. It just tastes like pure sugar. So sweet. And then just fake. It tastes like I remember it as a child, but it tasted good to me as a child. Not so much now. Next up, we're going for the fruit Gushers. I think it was like 2nd grade the last time I had these. I vaguely remember the packages being blue though, not yellow, but I could be wrong. Oh, I forgot about the exploding in the mouth. Not gonna lie, kind of tastes plasticky. It's not terrible, but it's not great. I'm not a big fan of the liquid. I remember these being so good when I was a kid. No. Just no. Wash that down with some jammer. Next up, this is not a flavor we had when I was a child, but we did have these, and this is the only one that I could find at the store, which is a fruit roll-ups. Except for when I was a kid, they had fun shapes in them, and then you'd roll it out, and you'd pull out the fun shapes, and then you'd make other shapes with it, and you'd just play with your food, really. This one is Jolly Rancher. I remember it being like tie-dyed colors when I was a kid, and they used to be like citrus flavored, I believe. So, here we go. It still has the same like plastic wrap, but I remember it not being plastic when I was a kid. It was more like a wax paper. Oh, there's like fun little designs on there. I'm sure that's healthy. Yeah, the one I had when I was a kid was all like tie-dyed in multiple colors. This is just one solid color. And no fun shapes to pull out. That's just boring. What are kids today supposed to do? It does not taste like it did when I was a child. But it's a memory that might be forever ruined for me. And we're just gonna shove that back in there. We're never gonna talk about it ever again. Now this next one. This was not a childhood one. This was like middle school, so that would have been the early 2000s. And this was something that we sold at the cafeteria, Airheads. And if you were able to buy an Airhead on your lunch break in the cafeteria, you were cool. Airhead and fries. We ate really healthy in middle school. That's pretty much all the cafeteria sold was French fries and candy. This one was my favorite that I used to get all the time, which is the watermelon. Notice a trend with the baby bottle pop. I doubt that this one's actually gonna be as good as I remember it, because I feel like it's gonna probably taste like plastic, because it kind of looks like plastic and feels like plastic. Kind of has a plasticky smell to it too. It is so chewy. It just keeps going. It's like chewing on rubber. Flavor? The flavor is not very good. It's kind of like chewing on sweet plastic. That was something I used to buy all the time. I am never gonna buy that again. As an adult, I don't like chewing on plastic that just goes on forever in your mouth and then kind of disintegrates at the end. Texturally, 0. Flavor, 2. No, I didn't like it. The last one on the list is the Push Pop. Now, they didn't have the watermelon flavor that I usually get. I got the blue raspberry, it was good when I was a child. I left this one to the end because, well, it was the one I was most excited for, so other than the baby bottle pop. I remember they made one that came in like a 3-way one at one time too, and these lasted forever. And I remember when I was in elementary school, there was a girl that had one on her desk for so long it attracted ants. She just, oh, it's springy. Oh my God. I don't remember it being springy. You used to have to push the bottom. They changed that? What? Okay, so when I was a kid, we had to use our finger to push it up and down. You push the bottom, you put your finger in the bottom, and then you pushed it with your finger. And it usually got really gross in there, and eventually it wouldn't come up because it would be so caked on the sides with your saliva and push pop juices. But now this is just not the same. It's not the same. Got a spring in it. It's not the same as using your finger. Okay, and rent. I mean, it still tastes like Push Pop. Right in the childhood. That still tastes good. But half the fun of having a Push Pop as a kid was pushing it up and down with your finger, because that would entertain you for hours. You could literally do that for hours. I just feel like eventually the spring in there is one, gonna pop right out because it feels like it's really cheap, or it's gonna get so caked with Push Pop juices that it will just not do its springing action anymore. I am so disappointed about this. It's not even funny. Just push it with your finger. You know what else I couldn't find was a Ring Pop. Those used to be really good too. Oddly enough, this kind of tastes like the Kool-aid jammer, but better. I just noticed something on here. those pictures that were on the Fruit Roll-Ups are tongue tattoos. So you just, and then it tattoos your tongue. What? I mean, that's kind of cooler than the cutout pull-out pieces, but, huh? Why are you complicating it with tongue tattoos? Make it taste good again. It might have tasted the same when I was a child, but I just didn't notice. Honestly, the best thing out of all of these things that really just hit home in the childhood was the baby bottle pop. Baby bottle pop, baby bottle pop. This I would still buy. Again, the rest of it, not so much. Thank you for watching. If you have a video that you would like to see, leave a comment below and maybe I'll consider making it. Don't forget to click that notification bell and subscribe so you never miss an episode, because I'll be back next Wednesday. And if you didn't like today's video, well, I'm sorry. Maybe next week will be more your speed. I'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.